This is the VW Golf I bought as a non-runner, and it's finally home. But after digging deeper into its issues, I'm starting to realize how much of a gamble I took. And the kicker, I only paid £1,000 for it. Stick around because I've uncovered some more surprises and you're not going to want to miss it. In the last video, I got this £1,000 car running after it sat for over a year. I tackled and fixed the bonnet latch, only to get locked out of it again.
Are you kidding me?
But before I brought this car home, I had to deal with the ripped apart interior panels, so I wasted no time and got straight into it. It was fairly easy. The only thing I would say, it was a bit like a jigsaw puzzle trying to put everything back together piece by piece. Either way, I managed to piece the interior back together, ready to bring it home. Before I discovered another fault.
When I lock it, it rebounds and it doesn't lock.
Despite the car not running for over a year, the car actually drives really nice and it made it home in one piece. But I decided to do a quick diagnostics check to show you guys what faults I bought the car with. Invalid data received from steering angle sensor, engine control module locked. Data bus missing, data bus missing, data bus missing, data bus missing. When I first checked out this car and I got all of these codes, it was very clear to me that there was an electrical fault. So I took a gamble with this car knowing it's got these faults. When I bought this vehicle, it was not started. I would turn the key, the lights would all turn on, none of these lights will turn off. There was multiple lights there. Then when I tried cranking the car, the key would turn, but there'd be no crank, nothing at all. As you can see now, the car starts. I had all of these issues. That's why the car was not starting, and I bought it on a gamble. And when I just recharged the battery, it all went away. So I got ridiculously lucky, like I said, on this vehicle. And now to tackle our main priority, which is to lock the car. So I realized when I was inserting the key and trying to lock the vehicle, it was very hard to turn. The car's mechanism has enough power to unlock it, just not lock it, because there's a lot more tension pushing it this way. And what I quickly realized is that this key barrel had been removed before, and once they inserted the screw back into this hole here, it was screwed on at an angle, therefore pushing down some of the metal and forcing it onto the key barrel on the inside, obstructing it from turning freely. So I just took a drill with a 1mm drill attachment and decided to shave away some of the metal on the inside, and I made some progress. As you can see, the key is turning a lot more freely and it's almost springing back into its place. But I wasn't confident that the car's mechanism would have enough power to turn it, so I decided to shave away some more metal using the drill until I was happy with how easy it turns. This time I was confident that the car's mechanism would easily be able to turn the key. I'm gonna just pop this back in. Yes. And there we are. That's back in. I can pop this screw back in now. Let's test it. It's unlocked. It locks now. Because before, it wouldn't let it lock. And that is the finishing touch back on. There we are. All sorted. Then it was time for the interior. So I started clearing out everything in the back, putting everything away. There was a lot of rubbish inside this car. And then it was time to do the same thing with the front. Those are just the pieces I haven't put back because of the bonnet latch. Then it was time to spray down the car with white vinegar, which actually worked really well, as you can see here. So I spent about 20 minutes to half an hour just making sure I've sprayed everything down as much as I can. I tried to drench the seats in white vinegar to kill off the mold. I think it's going to be a lot better if I remove the seats and then clean them individually with the wet and dry vacuum. Hopefully get rid of all of the mold that's inside there. Let's start with the passenger one first. And to do that, it was just a case of removing both of the bolts at the front which hold down the tracks, and then doing the same thing in the rear. And then we could just flip the seat back just like so. And then there were just two connectors that I had to disconnect, which was for the seat belt and the airbags of the seats. This was quite interesting because they always say McDonald's food never rots, and this chip has actually not grew any mold at all in a mold infested car. I don't know about you, but I find that really crazy. Anyway, so it's time to do the same thing with the driver's seat of the car, removing the front bolts, and then doing the same thing with the rear, and then removing the connections that go to the seat. Once I have the seats out, I decided to spray it all down in white vinegar again, making sure I get to all the parts that I couldn't inside the vehicle. Next, I decided to tackle the inside of the vehicle, make sure I clean all the interior because even the dash had grew mold. I was trying to make sure to clean every nook and cranny of this car as best as I could because there was so much food stuffed into every crevice. Just look at the state of these seatbelts, they're actually awful. There's so much grime and mold growing on this. Just look at the back of the seatbelt, it looks like somebody spilled yogurt on it. Nevertheless, that white vinegar did a great job because just wiping the seatbelt down made it look brand new again, but of course this is not a permanent solution. Seeing how well that seatbelt cleaned up, I decided to tackle the rest of the seatbelts in the car. Moving on to the driver's side, which was nowhere near as bad as the passenger side. Once that was done, I moved to the back, and I found this really cool technique, which is to pull the seatbelt really hard until it locks in its place, and then using that force to wipe it down with the rag that I was using. So what I've done so far is clean all of the seatbelts, driver's side, passenger side, and all of the 3 rear seatbelts as well. Clean both sides nice and clean now. Then I did some more interior cleaning, making sure I got a lot of that grime out because the cup holders were filled with something I can describe as toffee, but it turned out to actually be coffee. Then I moved on to the roof, which I actually failed at because there was just so much mold that had grown between the layers. It was almost impossible to clean and get it to a level where I was actually happy with. So I just cleaned off all the plastic parts, which was pretty easy. So I've sprayed all this down. I'm going to spray it down once over again, and then I'm going to take it to the car wash, tell them to jet wash the seats for me. I've already got the seats out. This is all the rubbish. This bag full of rubbish came out the car. I got this wet vacuum in order to do the seats, and I'm in a car park with no plugs around, so I had this little inverter that plugs into the car, and then you have power supply, but this apparently draws a lot of power and this wasn't able to sustain it, hence why I wasn't able to do this myself. I would have loved to get this on video for you guys, doing a full transformation, but unfortunately with the car being so dirty I cannot skip over this part. So I've just popped the seats back in. I haven't got any of the screws in it, so the car wash can take them out and jet wash them. The car's already starting to look better, I must say. It's starting to look a lot better already. Before you get onto me, I know we have to address the knocking sound. It smells so strongly of vinegar in here, and every time I push the clutch down, my seat goes back. But let's go. And when I'm accelerating, it's just gone back when I've accelerated. But as you can see, auto hold actually works now. Surprisingly, I can't turn it off though, but at least it's on. So I just went to the car wash and I had to turn back because the car has a massive leak. So of course we're going to get more problems. This is only a £1,000 car. Turns out that the crankshaft housing was actually leaking a lot. It was a good thing that I turned around from the car wash because it was so busy. This oil leak is by far our biggest challenge yet. In the next video, I'll see if I can fix this leak, and let's see if this £1,000 Golf is even worth saving at the end of the day. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, subscribe and comment. It would really help me out. Till next time.